Welcome to Litany of Ashes, where darkness lives inside forgotten stories. What you will hear today is not fiction. It is not fantasy. It is the real tale of a family hidden behind smiles, behind praise, behind doors that should have never been closed. This is the dreadful truth about the Follings, a couple who brought home 12 children. Each child had no papers, no records, no trace. What started as kindness turned into the worst nightmare anyone could imagine. The place was Millbrook, a quiet spot in western Pennsylvania. It had under 3,000 people. Everyone knew everyone. It was the kind of place where you left your front door unlocked, where strangers helped each other, where silence was comfort. It was there, in spring of 1978, that Howard and Margaret Folling bought a house sitting alone on a hill. People called it the haunted mansion. Old wood, broken windows, shadows inside. But Howard, a banker with deep pockets, saw something in it. His wife Margaret had worked as a nurse. They changed the house. They painted. They restored. They smiled. And slowly, people started admiring them. Elaine Winters, who lived across the street, still remembers. Howard always wore clean suits. Margaret had grace. They made people feel special. That was their power. Underneath, something waited. They could not have children by blood. Margaret longed for motherhood. She watched children play outside her window. Her eyes followed them like a silent prayer. In summer of 1980, the Follings said they had adopted a boy. They named him James. People cheered. A shower was thrown. A blessing was held in the church. James smiled, and so did his parents. But something odd happened. Margaret never let others hold the baby. When the pastor asked during the blessing, she froze. Howard whispered to her, and only then did she allow it, but she stood close, too close. It felt wrong, but nobody said anything. Over the next 5 years, they adopted more. A girl named Elizabeth, then Thomas, then Catherine, then William. 5 children, all under 6, all within a few short years. Normally, adoption was not fast, but Howard knew people. He had influence. Detective Richard Cooper would later say they were seen as heroes. Helping children, saving futures. Who would question angels? No one. But signs existed. The children did not go to school. Margaret taught them herself. They never joined clubs. They did not attend birthdays. They stayed near their parents. Always quiet, always present. Patricia Hayes tried once. Her son was the same age as James. She invited him. Margaret said James was sick, then busy, then away. After many refusals, Patricia stopped asking. In 1987, something changed. Thomas fell from a tree and broke his arm. Margaret tried fixing it herself. It got worse. Fever. Infection. Howard took him to the hospital. Dr. Sarah Chon treated him. She said he did not cry once. When asked how he fell, he looked to Howard first. That look was not normal. Dr. Chon asked for records. None existed. Howard said a fire destroyed them. When Dr. Chon pressed, Howard grew angry. He threatened to move Thomas to another place. Dr. Chon reported it. A social worker named David Morris came. He saw the house. He wrote that nothing seemed wrong. Clean house. Healthy kids. Margaret said she was afraid of hospitals due to her own past. The report said it was a bad choice, not abuse. The file was closed. Between 1988 and 1990, they added more children. Robert, Anne, Henry. 8 in total. Then whispers began. Why so many? Why never seen? Why so quiet? Clara Jenkins said she saw them in church. 8 children, sitting still, not moving. not whispering. Like statues, not like children. Still, nothing was said. The Follings donated money. Howard sat on boards. They were respected. But time brings change. In 1992, new neighbors arrived. The Fletchers. Michael was a writer. Susan was a social worker. Their daughter Emily watched from their porch. Susan noticed things. The way the children flinched. The way they watched Margaret with wide eyes. Susan wrote notes. She tried to befriend Margaret. They had coffee. Susan visited the house. On one visit, she heard crying behind a locked door upstairs. Margaret said it was storage. Susan did not believe her. One day she saw a girl in the window, a child she had never met. Margaret said it was Elizabeth or Catherine. Susan knew it was not. Around that time, Michael wrote about adoption fraud. Some agencies had broken laws. Some placed children without papers. Michael never named the Follings, but the timing matched. Soon after the articles, the Follings adopted again. Twin boys. Peter and Paul, then a girl named Mary. 11 total. Now, and still, questions remained. Detective Cooper later said they used different agencies, different states. They picked children with hard pasts, lost documents, no families. The ones no one missed. But why? What did they gain? Margaret wanted a big family. Howard gave her what she wanted. Money was not the goal. Appearances were not either. It was about something else. In 1994, Susan became sick. Cancer. She knew her time was short. She called Cooper to her home. She gave him a file, her notes, photos, names, the girl in the window, her fears. She asked him to look deeper. Susan died months later. Cooper kept his word. He checked records. He found they used 5 different agencies. Each time they gave donations. Not illegal, but odd. Howard had set up money for each child. But the money had rules. Only given if they stayed close to the parents. Only if they never searched for real origins. That was control. Cooper watched the house. He spoke to teachers, workers, anyone who had met the children. Many had left suddenly. No reasons, no trace. One woman, Maria Vasquez, had cleaned for them. She vanished in 1991. Cooper found her living far away. She refused at first. Then he showed Susan's notes. Maria cried. She said she had seen, too. Much. She spoke of strange rules. The children could not speak to each other. Each had their own room. They used sir and madam for their parents. No hugs, no comfort. Maria brought food to 3 locked rooms upstairs. She never saw inside. She heard crying. Margaret said they were special children, isolated for their own good. One night, James spoke without permission. Margaret punished him. She made him stand. All night in a corner. Maria left that night. She feared them. Cooper took this to his chief. He was told to stop. Not enough evidence. Howard knew powerful people. The mayor, the attorney. Cooper was warned. He continued alone. Emily Fletcher had been searching too. She saw a pattern. Whenever the Follings adopted from one place, another child went missing nearby. Foster children, immigrant children, children without voices. She told Cooper. He found that those missing children were never found. No follow-up, no news. They vanished. Cooper sent the file to state police. Lisa Harper, from a Child Crimes. Task Force got the report. She acted fast. A search warrant was signed. They moved at dawn. October 23, 1995. Officers came in silence. Howard answered the door, calm, like he expected it. Margaret screamed. She attacked. They held her down. The house was searched. The 11 known children were found, dressed, sitting still. Awake, they said nothing new. When asked, James said, "Sir and Madam provide everything. We are happy." Upstairs, 3 rooms were locked. Inside, 3 children. A girl, 2 boys. They were thin, dirty, afraid. They spoke little English. No toys, no books, darkness, smell, silence. They had no records. No names. They were hidden. Doctors said they were starved, hurt, scared. They did not belong anywhere. Ghosts. That changed the case. Now it was more than abuse. It was possible trafficking. Margaret and Howard were arrested. Margaret screamed in a strange language. Later, experts said it was not real. Some kind of invented speech. Maybe part of a ritual. That moment made Cooper wonder. Was this religious? He had thought it was about control. Now he thought it might be belief. A terrible belief. The children were taken to safe places. The hidden 3 went into emergency care. The rest were placed in homes for children in trauma. Talking to them was hard. The 11 kept using the same words. The hidden 3 cried. They feared light. They feared voices. Dr. Evelyn Mororo worked with them. She used art. The children drew dark shapes. One girl drew circles, bottles, faces. She said Margaret made them drink bitter liquid, then sleep. Then she spoke over them. Sometimes she painted marks on their skin. It looked like ritual. It did not match any known religion. Something made up. Margaret's own faith. In the study, police found a book, a journal, written by Margaret. 20 years of writing. She called her work a mission. She said children had sin. It had to be removed. She wrote about breaking identity, creating new people. Margaret called some children redeemable. Others were vessels. Redeemables could be saved. Vessels were used to carry sin. When full, they were discarded. That meant killed. She wrote of a resting place. That led police to dig on the property. 5 graves, small stones. Children. They died of hunger, cold, and neglect. Number. Names. Just silence. Forensic work tried to find identities. 3 matched missing children. Maria Gomez, Tyrell Washington, Alexei Petro. 2 were unknown. Jane Doe, John Doe. Cooper still thinks of them. No one claimed them. No one knew. The court case began. Howard hired lawyers. He blamed Margaret. Said he was busy. Said he never knew. Prosecutor Meredith Lane disagreed. Howard signed papers. He built the rooms. He funded it. Margaret was ruled unfit for trial. Mental illness. She went to a hospital. She died in 2008. Howard offered a deal. He would tell about more hidden children. In exchange, he would avoid full punishment. The deal was made. He got 25 years to life. He told them of more graves. A lake house. A hunting cabin. A beach house. 8 more children were found. Now 13 vessels. For 12 adopted children. Margaret believed some needed more than 1 vessel. Of those 8, 5 were named. Lucia Diaz, Wami Johnson, Tran Nung Guan, Sarah Blackfeather, Dmitry Kowalski. All poor. All forgotten. All missed only by the desperate. The others were unnamed. Their lives erased. The 12 adopted children had different fates. James ended his life in 1998. Elizabeth suffered from eating disorders. Thomas disappeared. Catherine died from drugs. Some found families. Some aged out of care. Most were lost in their minds. The hidden 3 were siblings. Sophia Mateo. Carlos, taken from near San Diego. Their parents were told they had run away. They were finally reunited. Doctors said Sophia was close to being discarded. Another month, and she would be gone. Howard died in prison in 2011. He never said sorry. His money was given to victims. The house was destroyed. A garden was planted. Every year, candles are lit, 13 for the vessels, 12 for the adopted. A law was passed, stricter checks, limits on how many children can be adopted at once, more visits by social workers. They call it the Folling Act. Still, many believe. More children are out there, never found, never named. Cooper still looks, even in retirement. The journal gave one last clue. Margaret wrote that filled vessels sleep until judgment, that her work continued beyond death, that she was chosen. Her past gave hints. Her family was secret, religious. Her travels in Europe connected her to strange texts about transfer of sin. She built her belief on old myths, alchemy, Gnostic writings. Her husband did not believe, but he allowed it. He paid for it. He stood beside it. Elizabeth once spoke in a documentary. She remembered cold nights, circles on the floor, bitter tea, cuts on the skin, silent rules, fear. She said Margaret showed them the vessels, thin, empty. She called them bad, said this is what happens when you disobey. Dr. Mororo said it was not normal abuse. It was mind control, like a cult. The children did not know what was real. Even after rescue, they defended the Follings, because they knew nothing else. Healing took years. Some never healed. The worst part is not only the deaths, it is the lives stolen. The children who never became what they could have been. The Folling case is studied now, by law, by psychology, by religion. It teaches how evil can wear polite faces, how wealth hides horror, how systems fail the weak. It warns us. Speak when something feels wrong. Act when silence grows. Do not wait. Do not ignore. Because behind one door, in one house, 13 children died, and 12 lived inside fear. And all of it happened in plain sight. May their memories stay alive. May their stories never be forgotten. This has been Litany of Ashes. Stay watchful. Darkness lives where light refuses to look.